Think of this stat. You have survived 100% of the things you've been through. I'm telling your story and saying, look, man, like they tried to kill me. I tried to kill me. I could have made this decision. I could have ended up here.
Yeah.
But God, I'm still here.
You may get on an interview and you talking about community and, we got to respect Black women. But then when I hear your album, you done cussed every Black woman out.
Welcome to the Legin Podcast, episode 2. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being a part of this with me. We are a member of the NRT Podcast Network. And my name, if we haven't met, is Nigel. Legin is Nigel spelled backwards. It just says Christ turned my life around. And that's what we're talking about. Turnaround stories, everything turning around. The theme this season is Your Story Matters. Special shout out to our sponsors, Aviation Institute of Maintenance, a nationwide school preparing people for the need in the aviation industry for mechanics. There's a big need, high-paying jobs, and they have day and evening classes with nationwide schools available. Check them out if you need a career change or a good opportunity. Also, in Hampton Roads, Centura College and Tidewater Tech are teaching people trades such as car maintenance and Tidewater Tech and other things like that, HVAC. But in Centura College, they're teaching people medical billing professions, massage therapy, and all types of trades, again, to get you a new career and a high-paying job with both day and evening shifts available. Check them out if you need a good career. Also shouting out Chick-Fil-A Broad Creek Crossing and North Military Highway in Norfolk, Virginia. I work really tight with this store. The food's amazing, as you know. They're also fantastic at taking care of their people and why they're doing it and who they're doing it for. They care about the community. If you need a good place to support or a good job to get, go check out Chick-fil-A Broad Creek Crossing in Norfolk, Virginia. They're my folks. So today, Trevor and I are taking that conversation of Our Stories Matter from episode 1. We told our background, and we're talking about a better narrative in pop culture, hip hop, media, etc., about accepting better stories and not being hypocrites and taking in bad stories and expecting good stories to come from that. So I hope you enjoy this conversation about why your story matters.
This is a whole different episode, man. I got the hood up. Welcome to the Legin Podcast, episode 2.
Hey.
We in there. In there. Man, you made it to episode 2. Congratulations. Higher achievements unlocked because you were here. Level up. Shout out to Trevor Lucas, the illustrious co-host. Illustrious, man. Also known as King Louis. If you hit him on the ground.
Yeah,
King
we'll make shirts.
Yeah, man. King, we won't make ethereal flex shirts.
Ethereal flex is
the first one. That's a flex no man has yet achieved.
No, sir. We working on it on a daily basis.
Man, shout out. We working on our intro. We don't know. We're gonna get a professional one at some point. But for right now,
talk with us.
Like, subscribe, 5-star rate, and share. Tag your friend. That's 5 things. That's too many things to do. But do all of them.
Rewind and write those things down. Yes. And do all 5. Then you can get back to us.
Yeah, man. We stay at bars. Come on, man. Bar, you know who you're creating. Look, man, we glad you're here, man. Stories. All right. Legin, Nigel backwards. God turned my life around. Mm-hmm. My story matters. Means that your story matters. Mm-hmm. Means that your story matters.
Absolutely.
It means the person who you love, their story matters. Mm-hmm. It means the person you don't like, their story matters.
Absolutely.
They're still made in the image of God. Foundational thought process to my worldview. Is everybody you see, even the person you despise and disagree with the most, the starting place of that conversation is that person is too made in the image of God, just like you.
That's a fact.
So you got to start with the dignity, value, and worth that every human being in front of you has. So that means our stories matter. And God turning them around matters. So I think we were talking about how important it is that the stories we put out in the culture.
Yes, sir.
How that matters. You can't be flippant.
No. And I think flippant is trending. It's trendy. This is culture now. Yeah. It is though, bro.
Yeah.
It is. Because at the end of the day, there's so many mixed messages in here. You may get on an interview and you're talking about community and, how we need to come together and how, we got to respect Black women. But then when I hear your album, you done cussed every Black woman out. And you got her doing all types of felonious things.
Yeah.
And shot 13 Black people. Yeah. Which one is it?
Which one is it, bro?
Which one is it?
Which Black Lives Matter do you?
Which one?
Right. I was, so I had the privilege of being the founder of Safe House Project, which is an anti-human trafficking organization.
Yeah.
Because of my past fatherlessness and all that stuff, I was never trafficked or sexually abused, but my heart goes towards kids who are unprotected.
Yeah.
So when, we went to Africa and found out that these kids needed some help, and I'll tell the whole story another time. So we worked hard to get them a house, and it turned into an organization fighting to get houses all across the states.
You're an international saint. That's crazy, son. That's crazy.
Messed the whole story up.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's ethereal. But not, man, like, so we did that, man. And so I'm going around while we're trying to get the house up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going around schools and promoting things and all that, raising money, doing songs, doing concerts. And I remember I visited this one school, high school. And we're in there and I'm listening to the music the kids are playing.
Yeah.
While they're also donating clothes for me to take to South Africa with me.
Okay.
And something that crossed my mind, a song had just come out by an artist and song that will remain unnamed because no personal attacks.
Yep.
But the song came out and the song was just crazy.
Yeah.
And the second verse, he was like, man, I smashed this chick, passed around to all my homies. They all smell like, just typical language.
Usual stuff.
Right? Yeah, just usual.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Light
regular
day.
Light day, Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm in the school and I'm talking to these students who, I get it. Like you just listen to what comes out.
This is culture. This is normal stuff. It's on the radio. Right.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Like nobody checks these artists.
Yep.
Free speech and culture and all that.
Yes,
like
sir.
nothing you say is wrong anymore.
Uh-huh.
And so I asked them, I'm like, hey man, y'all are anti-human trafficking, right? Y'all are anti-sex trafficking. And they look at me like, yeah, bro, like why are you here? Like that's what we making these things. Right. We donate. What you talking about?
Right.
Like, so y'all think this is bad? They're like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. Y'all know such and such song, and I named it. And it was like, oh yeah, that's it. I'm like, yeah, it just came out like that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, quote the first couple lines of verse 2 for me.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of paused, and you saw the eyebrows go up. I said, I'll help you. And I recited the lines.
Yeah.
And I said, that's sex trafficking right there.
Yeah.
Banged her, passed it to my homies.
Yep.
That's sex trafficking. It ain't white vans.
No.
It is, but it's not just that. That's
It's at the party.
That's a small percentage of it. You know what I'm saying? Like most trafficking happens. So I'm like, so my point is like the stories that we put out matter so much.
Absolutely.
And what we listen to and what we support and what we play and what we listen to, because the algorithm says, oh, you like this. Here's
Get
more.
more. Yeah.
And so like we got to stop. My bro, shout out Jermaine, my bro. I don't remember if I coined it or he coined it, but it felt like it was together. We said the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And it's not just hip hop. Like,
Oh, it's not.
that's what
It's
why. But it's everywhere. It's humanity.
Yeah.
Humanity. I say humanity. Humanity. Edit that. Don't edit it. It's fine.
That works.
But like the hypocrisy of the story we put out, where on one hand, we care about people and we donate into colleges and HBCUs and man, get a better life and make it up. But over marching about it, right? But over here, you know what I mean?
We dancing to death.
Dancing to death, bro.
Literally. And what people don't realize, I know it's a lot of new age things going on and people loving witchcraft and things like that these days. These mantras that you speak of, and when you say you manifest things and you say that, you speak these things, you speak it, believe it, receive it, you speak it over and over and over again. What does a hook of a song do? It says it over and over again.
Just set a bar, bro.
So at the end of the day, you casting spells on yourself by sitting here playing these things and filling your ears with this.
And on your kids in the
And on your kids. And on your kids. I went to a graduation party. So graduation party, we celebrating. Grandmas, aunties, everybody out here. And bro, I'm talking the ratchetest of the ratchet is playing.
Right.
And, everybody's moving about and eating mac and cheese like everything cool, but little messages are being sent to us, our children. If you listen to Spanish all the time, you're going to start speaking Spanish.
That's a fact.
You listen to fools long enough, you become one.
Listen.
And you'll get conflicted with your biblical thoughts when you come into those quick action situations.
You got to make space for what you prioritize in your brain.
That's a fact.
You listen to the word for an hour a week. You listen to this 6 hours a day. You know what I mean?
Winning.
Yeah, but God's the most important thing.
Is he?
But most of the thoughts you flooding are everything God said don't do.
Anti.
Right. I remember going to this joint, bro. Went to this event, man. And it was a circus, man. Universal Circus. Shout out to Universal Circus, by the way. Joint's great. I'll take every time they come, I'm taking my kids. I love the joint. But they playing music like everybody else. And so I remember taking my daughter to ride the elephant jump. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I ain't never rode no elephant. Like you beating me to this.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And so we in there, and I'm gonna stick to my commitment of not calling out particular artists.
Yes.
A track comes on, popular track. If I said it, you know it. Hook's all about drugs.
Okay. At the Universal?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's just you know,
Lively. The beach nice.
the beach's nice.
It
It's
fits
just
with riding elephants.
It's culturally accepted.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
is what it is.
Absolutely.
And the track comes on, and something about that moment stopped me in my track. I watched the sea of adults and kids with their kids together chant the words of this song about drugs, and nobody sitting here thinking this is wrong.
This is about drugs.
This is about, everybody knows about this. The words say it.
But I don't think
The words say it, bro.
But I don't think this may sound so stupid and crazy, but I think a lot of times when they singing these songs in culture, it's become so, let me just say regular, that you don't even realize what you're saying.
Right.
Think about this. In the 60s, the 50s, do you think someone could go to your grandma and say, hey, in about 20 to 30 years, there's going to be music about shooting you and your entire family in the face. They're going to tell you to tell your daughter to shake like this and throw this in a circle and go and smoke this and destroy the whole neighborhood, and people are going to love it. What would they say to you? They probably think you was crazy.
Yeah, because it was there then, but it was more veiled.
Right.
It wasn't.
But you're not dancing to it.
Right.
You're not winning awards for it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
You know, Bizzle's line on that song "Bamboozled."
Oh, that song.
Track crazy.
Goodness, great.
He said, "I'ma kill a nigga. I'ma kill a Jew."
Yep.
One of those is crazy. One of those is cool.
Yep.
One of those to get a rich black man canceled. The other one to put a new Grammy on your mantle.
How much of a fact there was that?
Bro, that was crazy. Now, we can say whatever we want about where they're going with the theology on all that stuff.
Yeah.
How you feel it, don't feel it.
But it was facts.
It was facts. Like,
Factual.
you get awarded
Yes, sir.
for that. Now, let's take it here.
Okay.
Let's take it here. Like, we're talking about the consumers and the artists within the culture, right? And we got to take accountability.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Because they do say parents,
Right. Let's take it to the corporations who approve of said messages that ain't even a part of the culture, but they just want to ride the wave of the popularity.
Absolutely.
Like, I remember looking at certain commercials where they have certain companies that claim they stand for certain things, women's rights, inequity, equity, and and then they put artists, they get them endorsement deals and put them on products who, if you just play track 2 of their record,
that's it.
Is, you know what I'm saying? Contrary, but you put your corporate stamp on that. And unless that artist gets in trouble for a line that makes popularity, you're not going to.
Absolutely.
Then all of a sudden you backing off and you cancel them. Right. But you sign them knowing what their record said the whole time. Their whole album was talking. Yeah, you know what the album said the whole time. It's like, but you for this. But as long as that, it's like politicians, man. They bring an artist on the stage to do stuff for them when if you listen to their catalog, it's contrary to their whole platform.
Crazy.
So the hypocrisy is real, bro. And it definitely ain't just hip hop.
It's not.
I get most frustrated because that's what I'm closest to.
That's kind of my soapbox.
That's why I'm offended. Yeah. My affinity's there, but like it's my affinity's there, but it's
social media, everything now.
Yeah. So the stories that we put out matters, man. And a lot of taking it myself, man. Like I grew up with my situation with my dad and knowing that this ain't right and all that, right? And drugs literally destroyed my household.
Yeah.
Destroyed my dad. Right? It's literal. I dive into music, and every other rapper that I look up to is talking about the drugs they're currently selling.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But now telling your story about what you did and what you've been through, I'm all for that.
No problem.
I have zero problem. This is what happened. This is what it was. Yeah. This is the raw truth. It sucked. End of song. I respect it.
Yeah.
Have no problem. If you don't offer a solution every time or don't have or no one, I don't have it. I have no judgment there. But like when it's, I know the bad side of this.
Yes.
But I'm going to continue to propagate this.
Yes. I'm going to make a dance to it. Because at the end, the only thing that matters is my success and my money. And I'll donate something or I'll start a foundation. But like, it's blood money. Because I'm not really in the streets no more, but y'all are being convinced.
Right. I have a problem with that.
I do too.
And so I'm listening to this stuff and the thoughts creeping in like, hey, he's bragging about selling the stuff that killed your dad. Or that has your dad messed up right now. But you somehow you make a conscious choice to avoid the reality of that.
Yeah.
And just to continue to drill in because the music's good. You need an escape.
The love
somebody speaking your language. You feel connected.
Oh, just listen.
Yeah, listen why. Yeah, as a consumer, right? You just like, shooting other black people is not a great thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? And whether you're willing to do it or not, whether you agree with certain circumstances, whatever your worldview is on that, you already know, like, bro, like the average person knows, I probably shouldn't be doing this. But because it's accepted as culture and art, it's like, man, you know, man, it's just a song. And you just kind of get it in your subconscious. I remember driving around my son one day. He had a friend in the car, and I'm only putting on certain music. And the friends in his little elementary school, he's like, hey, man, do you have any? And he names an artist or whatever. It's like, nah, we won't play that. He's like, why? I was like, because he says certain language. He speaks about women a certain way. He talks about violence. And I just don't want that in my son's head. He's like, well, my dad plays it all the time. Like, what's the problem? And I was like, you know, your dad has to make his own choices, man. Like, and I'm not disrespecting your dad. Just in my car, I don't play it. And I'm not throwing his dad under the bus.
Good job.
Because your dad's wrong. I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do that, right? But I'm just like, just here, we don't do that. And it was like, and it was like an interesting, like line. And I just remember thinking like, I've just seen people like playing stripper music, and you got a 5-year-old girl in the back. And I'm like, bro, like, what is going on out here? But I remember, man, I made music where I disrespected women. I made music where I made threats of violence. I ain't in the street people. It's just what you do. I made music where, like, it's just like, I'm not pointing fingers. Like, I don't understand. I get it. But I've been consumed in the culture with it. But I just like, I've spent the latter part of my life, like, I want to be a part of undoing the bad story.
That's good.
Undoing the bad narrative. You know what I mean? Because if we keep, the labels don't care nothing about us, man.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
They just want money. You're a tool in the machine.
Right. Now, you got good people at labels, right? Yeah. But overall, if somebody's out there popping and they want a piece of that pie,
yes, sir,
they're going to put them out there regardless of what they're saying.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's so many.
Bring me this money.
Yeah. And then they're going to make money off the posthumous records and you die from your own stuff.
And then not only that, most of these record execs have stock and probably on prison. So when you decide to act out what you done heard, they get paid again.
Flip the tape.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
I want to talk about a vicious cycle, bro.
Yeah,
John, we are being duped and literally bamboozled.
Right.
And we've become an accomplice in our own demise, and we cool with it. Matter of fact, you're going to cuss somebody out if they got something to say about it.
Somebody call you out, bro. If somebody says, hey, man, this is hypocritical, they flip on you.
They will.
Man, I remember this one pastor said something one time, bro. He said, people violently defend their idols.
Ooh-wee.
You know what I mean?
Ooh-wee, that's good.
Violently.
That's a fact, though.
It's a fact, bro. It's a fact.
I done turned into a coon with a lot of folks when I started talking about, like, I immediately transformed into that dude from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, now, wait a minute.
We was cool a minute ago.
Right.
Until I talked about your favorite artist.
That's wild.
You know what I mean?
But, Pete, there was a situation I had saw, and, of course, the artist will go unnamed. I forgot. You remember when the Asian hate situation was really flaring up? There was a song that was out that was talking about robbing an Asian store and robbing Asian people, beat them up, whatever, you know. And the Asian hate situation was happening, and the Asian community got up and was like, "Yo, take this song down.
Oh yeah,
tear it down.
Oh yeah,
okay, take it off YouTube right now.
Done deal."
And it was off YouTube.
Immediately.
But I'm thinking to myself, there's a whole nother community of people that's getting robbed, shot, and killed in music.
Another community.
On a regular basis.
That's not rising up and say, take this.
Not, and it's our fault.
And we're making the music about ourselves.
It's our, come on.
Now listen, we can blame all day.
Yeah.
We can blame all day.
Yeah.
The trauma we've been through. And there's validity there.
There is.
There's generational there's validity there.
Yes, sir.
Because we take these things and we get on one side or the other. There is a problem or there isn't. And there's no like in between of like, yeah, there is a problem and some accountability.
No, we got to pick one click.
Yeah, you got to pick apart. What we do with politics is very divided. We got to
same
pick
thing. Is Democrats and Republicans.
Right. Facts. Facts.
Right.
And so red and blue. So
yes,
so it's like you have to decide which side you're going to be on in the situation. But like, bro, like there's a legit problem. There's stuff we've been through. There's generational trauma. There's inequities. There's systematic stuff. I agree with all of that.
No doubt about it.
You know, these test scores are going to build these prisons. Instead of fixing the test scores, let's build the prisons. Like that is a problem. And I agree with that. And there's underprivileged, all of that stuff. Like there's people that have been targeted. You can't look at our history and be an objective person to say that didn't happen.
That's a fact.
At the same time, there has to be accountability taken for when we take that and we perpetuate and repeat the trauma.
Yeah.
So when somebody goes out and sexually molests somebody, assaults them or rapes them,
Yeah.
we putting that person in jail, whether maybe they got a sexually assaulted.
Absolutely.
And now we're like,
You
hey
gotta
man,
go.
you know what I'm saying?
You gotta
Like
go,
it's,
sir.
it's and that's a horrible cycle. If somebody doesn't intervene and help,
Absolutely.
horrible cycle.
Yes, sir.
So when it comes to this stuff right here, like if that's part of the conversation, like we're only perpetuating the trauma and it's them and they did this and other, and there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
Maybe at a certain point, somebody said, and maybe this isn't fair, but it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like at a certain point, it's like, hey man, I don't want to be what I'm seeing this turns into. I don't want these results.
Yep.
Who do I need to get around? Where do I need to go?
What solution can we find
I
here?
can't keep listening and programming this stuff that I claim I'm against into my mind and then get mad when I get the outcomes that I claim I don't want.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
But because the beat was nice, I gave it a ride. But you're still programming your mind. Your mainframe is still getting programmed.
Absolutely.
And so like there's a piece where it's like we have to put out better stories.
Yep.
Because to your point, if we stop supporting the bad stories, they can cut them off.
Yep.
Because all they want is our attention.
That's
It's
it.
an attention to cut.
That's it.
You know,
And we ain't at the helm. Our community ain't at the helm of it.
right.
So you're not supporting us for real.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're getting somebody's getting a check.
Yeah.
One of us make it. We feel like you know what I'm saying? Somebody rise to the top. We support. I'm like, yeah, you feel good.
Yeah.
But like when somebody rises to the top for something that's destructive,
Nah, we can't do that.
I'm just like, bro, like I don't want your success taken away.
And they call them role models. And I'm sorry to cut you off. I hate the fact that they call these people role models. Why? Because they get money off the backs of their community. For real. You know what I'm saying? What makes them a role model?
Right. And the executive that signed them is getting money off of their back.
Absolutely.
So off of our backs, through their back. So like
slaves.
It's just new slaves. So I'm just like, bro, like what does it take for you to say we don't want these narratives anymore?
Yep.
I don't want these negative narratives about women. I don't want these negative narratives about Black people. I personally don't use the N-word in my life. I just don't. I can talk to somebody and they can use it, and I understand it's not coming from a place of malice. And I'm not gonna sit there and be like, don't say that to me. I'm not that guy.
I don't want to look bad, but there's a struggle.
But straight up,
Yeah.
if we're in the car and you just can't, I would have never judged you saying that because I get the context. It doesn't bother me. I personally don't use it because I'm just
It shouldn't be used.
just because I don't want to have to reframe something negative to make it positive.
Yep.
Why do we have to say this?
You don't.
You don't. So like it's like, so why do we have to accept the disrespect to women? Why does every female that comes out rapping, whether she dope or not, gotta be a stripper for us to pay attention?
Crazy. Can you just rap?
You just rap.
Put your clothes on and rap.
Just rap. If you can't, are you covering up that you can't rap? Like just rap. You know what I'm saying?
Your lips stop moving when you put a shirt on.
Like they chill. Like I don't care. Like you know what I'm saying? Like give these girls
First Samson. Like
put the hair on. Like put the wig on. And I'm just like, bro, like but there's an expectation that this is what it is.
Yeah.
And while we doing all this female empowerment, liberation, all this stuff, like praise God for that.
yes.
Like please tell our sisters, like, hey man, like by the way, like we respect you even if you cover yourself up a little bit.
We
like
do.
we don't
We respect you so much more.
Like come out here and be a Rhapsody and just kill everybody on the mic without all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like let's do that. So like I love the fact that the bar, it's so much in our power to raise the bar.
Yep.
Because all we have to do to make the news change,
Mhm.
to make music change,
Mhm.
to make media change, to make politicians change, is turn them off.
That's it. I'm done with you.
Everything changes.
Yep.
Instantly.
Yep.
Because they're gonna do whatever they got to do to get your attention back.
They dictate what you should turn off, though. That's the problem. They dictate who you should cancel, who to be mad at, depending on what channel you watch. You know,
Well, that's true. But what I'm saying is don't watch the channel.
right.
You know
I
what I mean?
agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like if we didn't like CNN swinging a certain way, or Fox swinging a certain way, MSNBC, whatever, and if we like, hey man, like you made a good point about this, but why you don't bring this thing up over here?
Right.
Why you only bring up these things?
Right.
And why I want to go over here, they only bring up these things, they don't bring up those things.
Sound like y'all pitting me against.
Right. And why can't y'all ever agree? Like this is a good thing. Why didn't you share that this politician who's not on your platform said a good thing and they did a good law?
Absolutely.
Why don't you say, hey,
Everybody not wrong all the time.
right, we don't vote for him, but this, Democrat over here did a great thing.
Yep.
Why can't you do that?
Yep.
Because you won't be fair and honest and balanced like you claim. I'm cutting you off.
Yep.
And I guarantee everything will change, but we're not going to do that.
We're not.
We have to get to the
Far
point.
gone.
We commit to telling better stories.
I agree.
And stories that line up with
You can only go as far as you can see.
you said that the first one, man. That's another shirt.
Yeah.
You said that the first one.
You can't. And that's
Great.
the reason why I do what I do with my artwork.
Yeah.
I want you to see more. I'm not around no more, but that painting is there, and it's constantly sending that message to everybody that passed.
Nah, that's good, bro.
Yeah.
That's I keep making music because like,
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not the biggest artist, haven't blown up, and that's cool. But like, like why keep making music, bro? Because that song is always there.
Yep.
And I eventually get a message somewhere from somebody like, bro, this line in this song that you dropped 3 years ago, this for me.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm glad it was out there.
Yeah,
I'm glad it was out there for that purpose, man. So like, that's part of it, man. Let's land on the film projects we have coming out. And not for the purpose of promo, even though we are.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, man, so tell them about your project, what you got working on. I'll tell about mine. And then like what we had, and we'll just do it real quick, but what we had at the end, the feedback,
the results of it.
The results at the
absolutely.
And what happened from telling a better story.
Yep. So what I, as you know, I'm a muralist, and I do artwork. The city is my gallery.
Corporate.
I don't you like that?
I love it.
So I don't do the canvas work as much, so I can't take my artwork and put it into a gallery and bring people there and they drink wine and cheese and hold their pinky up and talk about my stuff. I'm an extra graffiti artist. So the only way I can present my work to the public is through film. So with that, I filmed a montage of my artwork, and we also filmed a documentary on a project that I did. So with that, it's called the Hope Project. The Hope Project was this mural that I did in Newport News. It was for a city organization called Four Oaks. And Four Oaks houses people suffering with homelessness. And it doesn't give them a handout. It gives them a hand up. It teaches them skills. It gets them back into the community. It makes them feel, empowered again so they can do it on their own.
Dope.
So I love the whole idea of it, because you got men there who are suffering with some of the same things I was suffering from, whether it be drugs, insecurities, and you're just trying to get yourself back on your feet. So they commissioned me to do a mural in their courtyard to give these guys inspiration. So the film was about the process of putting that together, the reason for putting that together, and everything that came with it, the volunteers, the politicians that came out, the individuals that were there. It was just an inspirational story to see it all come together, right? So in my head, we're going to rent a theater, and we're going to present this out to people so they can see the film, see my artwork, and, tell a good story and raise my value as an artist. That's where my head was at. So we went and did it. We did the event. Man, it turned out amazing. It was amazing turnout.
This is like Friday, a couple days.
Saturday.
Saturday,
a couple days ago. So everybody came out to the Zydus Theater, downtown Virginia Beach, and they came out and supported, man. They saw my artwork. Then it came a point where I had to tell my story, because I didn't want to go into that film without letting you know, for those people that don't know why I do what I do and why I'm going to consistently do things like the Hope Project. I do positive pieces. I do pieces that uplift people and, send out a better story. So I went to tell my story. I was standing in a frame because God created this masterpiece, not me, So I told my story, and, it's always kind of hard to tell my story in front of folks. It's easier every time I do it, though.
Yeah, it's easier.
But it can be exhausting. So I'm telling my story, and I'm feeling like I'm saying things that I hadn't said before, like it's kind of getting a little deeper than I expected. So after I tell my story, we showed a film, everybody loved it, boom, boom, boom. We had a Q&A session. And this is where I realized this is more than just me playing a film and telling my story. I'm starting to see how people are reacting to it. Because in telling your story, especially when you do it in front of a large group of people, you find that there are multiple people who have gone what you went through.
Similar chapters.
They haven't been able to push through it. They're embarrassed. The shame is keeping them quiet.
Yeah.
They feel like they're alone, secluded. But when they hear you say it, it's like, oh, somebody else went through this and he made it through. I want to hear more. Not only do I want to hear more, I'm going to speak now about what I went through. I feel more comfortable to put mine out there.
Yeah.
We're sitting there having a Dr. Phil moment in the theater, and people thought they was just coming to see some artwork.
Yeah.
And multiple questions, multiple statements about being freed, being molested, being this, being that. And, which tears, like, it turned into a God moment, man. When I was just trying to put my film out, tell my story.
Yeah.
And it turned into way more than I expected. And that's whenever God gets a hold of the paintbrush and I let it go, and you get that ethereal flex.
You brought it back.
You get that ethereal flex because you can't do it.
Gotta rename the podcast. Flex for this one. One more episode of this.
So it turned out to be something that was much greater. It touched people in a different way. Folks were set free. People wanted to speak to folks because it was sponsored by the whole project was sponsored by a Milestone mental health agency.
Oh yeah,
and they were able to get calls from people and get help.
That's good, bro.
Because
told your story.
I just told my story,
and I think, man, you said a God moment came. From telling your story. It's like telling your story is the God moment.
It is the God moment.
If you're giving God the credit for it.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? And you're like, look, man, somebody said this, and I've said it in a few sermons now, and I really need to look it up so I can quote them. So if you hear this, forgive me. But they said, think of this stat. You have survived 100% of the things you've been through. You know what I mean? Like, you're still here.
You're here.
You're here. Like, that's an amazing 100%.
Yeah.
Amazing stat.
That's
right?
good stats.
And so telling your story and saying, look, man, like, they tried to kill me. I tried to kill me. I could have made this decision. I could have ended up here.
Yeah.
But God, I'm still here. I may not be perfect. I may not be where I need to be, but I'm on my way.
I'm here.
And I think that's a beautiful place to be. You said the point you made about you look out at the crowd and multiple people have similar chapters, right? I'm working on a film documentary called Legendary. And we just did a screening 2 weeks ago. And it went well. A bunch of people came out.
Yes.
And we just showed like a 25% done cut. I just wanted my community to be like, hey, this is on the way. Donate, help out if you can. What you think, get some feedback.
It was fire, bro.
A bunch of good feedback.
Yeah.
And the Q&A just turned into an affirmation session for me. And I'm on stage. I still struggle with compliments.
Yeah, me too. How do I respond to this?
You know what I'm saying? And
I say thank you differently this time?
I realize, like, when you don't let somebody compliment, you're rejecting their gift and slapping their hand. So I've learned at least to poker face it and be like, oh man, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? On the inside, I got work to do on the inside to really receive that compliment.
Good.
But like, I'm on stage and it just turned into, and God would just give me this gift through these beautiful people in the crowd. And then shout out Pastor Sidney Davis. He stood up and told his story. I know Pastor Davis about 15-something years.
Didn't know that.
I ain't know nothing about. He said, I wouldn't recognize my dad if he walked in right now.
Come on, man.
And like, I'm realizing me telling my story. Because I'm always like, I talk about my dad so much. Like, this is getting old to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody want to hear this from me again. I'm feeling like everybody done heard my story 50 times because I done told it 50 million times. For somebody, it's the first time. And I just, and got to get out of my head and just tell my story because my story matters. And so we're doing the documentary about me forgiving my dad, coming to Christ, and then journeying into full-time music ministry independently. And then just where that's taken me from racial reconciliation to fighting sex trafficking and filing safe files to like music and speaking and all the stuff, right? Sorry, I hit the mic. All the stuff going on. And so we're telling that story, man, and then somebody says, hey, what's the spiritual basis of this story you're telling? Why are you telling it? And my friend Sarah, shout out Dr. President Sarah Hummel. And I make some response. It was kind of autopilot, but then I launched into, well, we're telling this story because your story matters.
Boom.
And this really matters. Matter of fact, we might clip in the audio of that because you got it. Maybe clip in the audio of that part, Josh.
Tell your story. Tell your story. The parts you think are insignificant are not insignificant to somebody else. The things you think you're scared to say is the very thing somebody else needs to hear. And I'm not saying tell it from an unhealthy place. Get some healing, process it, get some wisdom on that. But don't tuck your story away because God is going to do something with it.
Just that part right there. And as benign as that moment felt,
that was money shot.
That was the most impactful.
Yes, it was.
The unplanned, unregulated moment. That's what I got the calls and texts about was like, man, just hearing my story mattered, changed me. I didn't know my story mattered. And it's just like, I've heard people starting to move into that purpose because of that moment at the jump. And I was like, wow, like So it wasn't my film. It was that.
Ratings, yeah. Well, the film was great too.
It wasn't. I worked hard on this film. All I had to do was say this.
Right.
And but it was a blessing, man, just to see telling a better story and a better narrative matters. And even if the story's tough to tell, because you've been through stuff,
that's even more reason why it needs.
That's even more reason, bro.
Somebody
needs to hear that, bro. They need to hear that's hope, because ain't nobody else bringing them hope. It's just some lying rapper in their head sometimes, or some lying politician, or some lying exec, or some boss that is taking out an authority issue on you, like whatever. People need better stories, and we got to stop waiting for them or somebody or the person with influence to give it. We just got to tell better stories in our houses, in our communities, in our churches. Our narratives have to be different. And we just got to stop propagating the bad stories. Like, tell the truth, right? If something bad and it sucks, tell it. That's fine. Don't tuck it away to try to act like, don't fake it till you make it. I'm not a fan of that. But man, like, change the negative ending or the part that you can control, the today and the tomorrow, the propagation of things you know aren't healthy. Start to flip that and be like, we're not going to do that no more. I'm not going to disrespect women no more. I'm not going to talk down to myself anymore. I'm not going to dishonor God anymore.
Let somebody do that to my daughter or do that to my,
You know what I'm saying? Like, it
works like that everywhere. So.
Right. So like, I remember, man, and I'll land on this. When I first got started doing music and ministry, I was telling my story about forgiving my dad everywhere. People coming up after shows, man, I ain't talked to my mom in this many years because of what she did. I'm gonna call her, bro, thank you. Hugging people, crying, people, praying with people. All this show, open mics everywhere. Like, I remember seeing that. I was like, it's powerful. And then fast forward a few years, and I went full time, and I started getting invited into a lot of white spaces, like more predominantly white spaces, right, to do my music and all stuff. And it was interesting, but it was just like, okay, cool. And I remember my first, but here's what happened. I started to get insecure about my story. Cause
relatable situations.
Well, not even that. It's just the culture has said, you hear the narrative all the time. Look at the poor black community.
I got you.
And their absent drug addicted daddies, and man, let's help them out because they struggle so much. And there's some truth in there somewhere. But like, you start to hear that. But I'm getting invited to all these white spaces, so I feel like I'm propagating the stereotype.
Right.
Now I'm embarrassed. Now I'm ashamed. Now I don't want to talk about my story. I'm not about to go in here and talk about my drug addiction. I'm the only black dude in the room. I'm my drug addicted daddy. Like, I don't want to talk about this no more. I took my story away. I was embarrassed. And
they got drug addicted white folk too.
That's a fact. But in my head, I was just this stereo. If you want to talk about that, that's cool. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to give you one more black story. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I remember I got booked at this beach in South Carolina. It was like my first big event after going full time, like big event. I booked there for a minute, and I'm looking at this. They got this fancy room, and it's a beach outside. And I'm like, yo, I just left my job, man.
This really met,
I'm on my way. I'm literally in my room on my knees, praising God, bowing down. God, thank you so much. You're so good. What's next? Tell your story.
Not on the beach.
Not on the beach. Not in front of these rich white people. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, all my insecurities from what I was told came back.
Dang.
I don't want to go out here in front of 600 white people and tell my story about the drug addicted black daddy and the band of me to propagate the stereotype you heard. That's all in my head. And I'm fighting. I clearly heard God say in a whisper, kind of like, do this tonight. Because I tucked it away. I get out there on stage, I'm doing the concert, we had a ball, like we jamming, we're going nuts in there. And it's just, I just kept feeling the pat on my shoulder.
Do it.
Hey.
What's the story?
Hey.
Come on.
You know what I mean? I got you this job. Hey.
Right. That's it.
And I just finally give up and push through the shame and the embarrassment. I tell my story.
That's good.
Dad left me in drugs, and I'm up here fighting all the feelings of like,
push through it though.
Drug addicted daddy, And then I do something I never did before. I said, hey, if you've been through something like this, you understand where I'm coming from. Raise your hand.
How many hands?
Bro, 60 to 70% of the hand. I watch a sea of white people's hands go up. And immediately on stage, I said, God, please forgive me. Because I judged them the very way I was afraid they were going to be judging me. I stereotyped them the way that I've been afraid they was going to stereotype me. And that's when God dropped something on my mind I've lived off of ever since. Sin doesn't segregate.
It does not.
Sin doesn't segregate.
You don't care what your complexion is.
I don't care, dog. Like, you are a human trying to figure out human life, have a human experience.
That's it.
And my worldview is that we all live in a sinful, broken world.
Yeah.
And regardless of your melanin shade or lack thereof, you are not safe from that. You are not exempt.
No.
And we all trying to figure it out.
She coming to get you.
And we all got, add community issues and political, those things are real.
Yep.
But man, I just learned that night. I was like, man, I'll never not tell my story again. Because I don't know who needs to hear it. And God forbid my imperfect human eyes prejudge somebody, say they don't need to hear my story because they got this.
Right.
And that person doesn't get free because I was disobedient and prideful. And so the encouragement, man, is your story matters. If you're in, and I want to say this too, if you're in the middle of not knowing how you're going to get out of your story, you don't have that turnaround moment yet. You don't have that solution yet.
Yeah.
I want to encourage you that your story, the story that's being written about you still matters. You're the only you that we're ever going to have. We're never going to get you again. That means you're infinitely valuable. Purpose, dignity, value, worth is immeasurable because you're here and God crafted you, right? Even if you believe that you just popped up here and God didn't make you, you're still the only you we're ever going to get. And the same thing still applies. I don't agree with that worldview. I think you were handcrafted by the designer and you're a piece of artwork. But your story matters. And I pray that you find a healthy community with which to process and share it as the pages are being written.
Absolutely.
With the belief that Christ can turn all this around for your good, his glory, and the good of others.
Yes, indeed.
If you just let him keep writing the story. And we won't keep telling these stories and doing this podcast, talking about stuff because it matters.
Yep.
Our story matters, your story matters. This has been episode 2 of the Legin Podcast. We're probably going to name it Ethereal Flex.
I like it.
Or Epistles to Pom Poms Part 2. Whole lot of P's.
Yeah.
But man, we appreciate y'all, man. Once again, sponsored by Deer Park Water. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Deer Park, for the prophetic check on the way.
I shall have the deers, the actual animals in here next time, and I'll gallop off of the stage.
Look, you better, man, listen, Elder Josh, you better do that thing. Hey, CGI some deers in this jank in the background for the YouTube
man. Do that.
But I appreciate y'all, man. Again, it's Legend. Follow me on all the things. Follow Anomaly Art Studio, Trevor Lucas, and all the things. We'll be back with episode 3 and probably a change of clothes because we wore this in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But it was filmed in the same day, so
don't get it twisted.
We're not funky, man. We care about this, right?
I like Deer Park Water right now.
If Deer Park don't hit us up, we're gonna get another sponsor next episode.
Absolutely.
I won't be like Josh though, because every time I see Josh, he got on church shoes.
Yeah, man.
He be sliding with it.
You never know when you about to go walk in them doors, man. You gotta be ready.
I mean, he be carrying gear and stuff like, yeah, you got on Chelsea.
Professional church wearer.
3 times a year.
Yeah.
Josh just walk in with it.
I'll put a suit on for you now.
I need to. Josh just roll out of bed with the Chelsea.
You're inspirational, Josh.
Hey man, thank you so much for watching this episode. Do me a favor. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Go to the show notes, do all the things, and let us know what you're feeling because we'd love to hear from you. Appreciate you.